Greetings, hi, and hello, everyone. My name is Jason Petitfrère. I'm a speaker, I'm a podcaster, and my life's work is centered around allowing the world to meet the true you by helping you think, speak, and eventually live better than yesterday. We do this first by establishing a good reason why, a strong and powerful motivation to keep going when the going gets rough. Second, we need awareness and acknowledgement of what's holding us back. And third, we need scalable steps forward as a reliable bridge between who we are right now and who we need to be tomorrow and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. This, my friends, is how you go from stuck to thinking as, speaking as, and living as the true you. Hi friends, Editing Jason here. I just wanted to give you all a heads up that during the recording of this episode, I kept experiencing numerous technical difficulties that resulted in just this weird popping sound in my recording towards the end of lengthy periods of recording. So please excuse that, and I apologize for the just its effect on the overall feel of things. But yeah, I'm going to be working on clearing that up for next week. Either way, enjoy the episode. Okay, tell me if you've ever done this before. On a day that you decide to treat yourself to a restaurant meal as opposed to cooking something at home, you go through the process of sifting through how you feel and how those feelings affected you. You wonder what you're truly in the mood for. Is it some zesty Asian cuisine, or are you in more of a pasta italiana mood? Hopefully that's correct translation. You've chosen both your food type now and restaurant though. Now, you get to order, and after what will hopefully be the briefest of waiting, you get to feast. Because you're starving after all that thinking you had to do to pick a place. Now, I don't know what you ended up choosing as your dish, but whatever it is, smells good and sounds even better as the waiter emerges from the busy abyss of the kitchen with a still hot and sizzling cast iron pan, complete with fancy pads underneath and on the handle in order to prevent burns. It's very nice. The food is placed before you, complimentary breads and butters carelessly shoved aside without a second thought, which is surprising with how lustfully you were gorging down that good starch. But that's neither here nor there. Your meal has arrived. Your waiter, a nice young man with his dark hair in a neat ponytail and what looks like his first set of mustache hairs, finally makes eye contact after careful placement of the hot pan and utensils. Straightens himself up, then, with a polite bow, he bids you to enjoy your meal. You, of course, respond with the expected thanks. But disaster strikes as you suddenly realize, all too late, that you are unable to catch those runaway words of habit. Before you realize it, sitting there feeling like a clown, your full response to the waiter, wishing you would enjoy your meal, was, "Thanks, you too." And there it is. We've done it for food. We've done it for plane or movie tickets. At one point or another, the okie doke strikes us all. Man. So what does this all have to do with today's episode? Absolutely nothing. At least nothing much. Oh man, I just wanted a fun way to connect to you all before diving into what could be an unusual podcast. Okay. Being fully transparent though, I have to apologize because I hadn't planned on having the week that I just had and was ill prepared, admittedly, for posting today. So, this very recording that you are listening to right now, likely with your well rested ears, I had to record it between midnight and 1 a.m. this Friday morning. I don't say all this to garner pity because this situation I'm in is well and truly on me this time. I'm just letting you know of how not perfect or fully put together I am. Because despite my best efforts, there are still some of you out there that think that just because my voice is electronically being transmitted to you via a popular music platform, that my life is somehow far removed from yours. That the perks I enjoy or the responsibilities I bear as a human being apply only to me and maybe those like me, and have nothing to do with you and the special case that is your life? Yeah, let me stop you right there, Chief. We may not have the same life. True. As a plant, I may bring forth some tart cherries, and you may bear some sweet mangoes. Our lives are indeed different. But you and I both need water and a fair amount of healthy sunlight, amongst other things. So just like that example, there are what we call principles that apply to most, if not all, people. All that to say this, I am committed to posting every Friday at 7 a.m. for at least the rest of this year. 7 a.m. Eastern, by the way. Will I miss one? Maybe. But I'm not about to let myself miss it, then walk around telling people to hold themselves accountable and build self-confidence on a bed of self-respect. Nah. I am many things. Human, fallible is amongst them, but hypocritical? No thanks. Which brings us both to the climax and conclusion, or pre-conclusion of this episode. I don't have a crazy story for you this time, but I did take... Let me try that again. I'm keeping this in, by the way. I don't have a crazy story for you, but I did take some time to Google some thought-provoking quotes about life, thanks to Goodreads.com. I just want to read some and maybe share some of my initial knee-jerk thoughts. Then we can wrap up. Starting with a quote by, and forgive me if I pronounce all these names wrong, but I believe this is Germani Kent. We'll go with Germani. She said, "It's a funny thing about life. Once you begin to take note of the things you are grateful for, you begin to lose sight of the things you lack." My initial thought to that is it's beautifully accurate. And I also think back to many podcasts that I've listened to from Ed Milet. Essentially, I think it's called the Ed Milet Show. And he often, or has often, mentioned the RAS, the reticular, I believe it's called the reticular activating system. So Ed Milet in his show has often mentioned the RAS, the reticular activating system, in his different conversations about goal setting. And the RAS is essentially your brain's way of allowing you to consciously take note of things that matter to you. So an easy example he's given is if you've ever bought, say, for example, a Volkswagen Beetle. You purchase that as your first car. All of a sudden, you start noticing everywhere you go, you see other Beetles. Is it that they were never there and they just suddenly started manifesting? No, it's just that your brain is paying more attention to it now. So that's your RAS. It's the same concept with life and goal setting. If you focus on the abundance that you have, guess what you're going to see more of in your life? Examples of abundance. Myron Golden actually put out a video about that. Dr. Myron, is he a doctor? I can't remember. I don't know if he has his PhD, but that's off topic. What was I saying? Yeah, Myron Golden put out a video about just, wealth and lack and all that kind of stuff. And he mentioned the same kind of concept. What you focus on, you will see more of. It will grow. So that's my initial thoughts on this quote. Let's move on to another one. Let's see if I can find a good one. This one I really like. Okay. It says, every time you mistreat someone, you reveal the part of you that lacks love and needs to heal. This is a quote by Kemi Segunle. Sogunle. Anyway, I'll read again. Every time you mistreat someone, you reveal the part of you that lacks love and needs to heal. Boy, does this hit home. Obviously, it happens more often with those closest to you. Moments where I was not proud of the way that I acted or things that I said. And with every time that I sat myself down and replayed in my mind what was said, but then dug deeper and asked myself, why did I say that? Why did I do that? It typically came from an insecure and unhealed place. So I completely resonate with this quote right here. Yeah, that could be a podcast in and of itself, but let's keep going. Okay, so this last quote, I'm not exactly sure where it's from, but it seems to be an excerpt from a story or something like that. But for the purposes of this episode, I like it, and so I'm using it. Anyway, it goes, who knew having a wife would be this good for my ego? His voice takes on a sarcastic tone. It's the wife's job to call you out on your BS because the rest of the world sure as hell won't. Now, I resonate with this because while some people might see it as some dude just complaining about his significant other, I don't. I see it as the candor of a man admitting that he needs frank and truthful confrontation from his significant other in order to not let his ego run wild, to not grow prideful, to not get so full of himself that he is completely blind to each and every one of his faults. That's how I view myself in my own situation. That's why I'm grateful for those, well, at the very least in hindsight, for those conversations where my wife, the one person in this world that knows me the most intricately and the most intimately, is able to speak to me out of a place of love to tell me, hey, you kind of dropped the ball here and you said you would deliver, but you didn't. I believe in you, but how you're acting right now is not representative of the man that I believe in. So fix it. Those conversations understandably sting, but I would be a liar if I'd said that I am not a better man today for the fact that I have this amazing woman standing next to me and choosing to do life with me. Yeah, it's a lot to think about, honestly. But with that, I want to thank you again for your understanding, as well as some of y'all's encouragement. It's been awesome hearing about some of your reactions to things I've said, or to hear my family unironically emphasize the letters TRU in casual conversation. It really means the world. But beyond just knowing that people listen to it, though, it means even more when I can see or hear people changing for the better because of it. Know that I myself cannot and would not dare to take sole credit for the things I say or the wisdom that I share. It's an amalgamation of both myself and those kind enough to share their experiences with me. Just like how shocked I am at the junk, the absolute garbage I used to be okay with eating before I met my wife, I am also changed for the better. through my walk with Christ. And my walk won't look exactly like yours either. The point is, it's all about progression towards something greater. Someone greater. The invite is out, but I'm twisting no arms here. That's not how free will works. And by the way, I don't say all this to pressure you into making any sort of major life decision right this instant. I want you to think about it, because I'll happily be the first person to tell you that this life is not easy. And my sister would likely be the second, because she tells it like it is. I can't get enough of straightforward people. This life is so worth it, but it is not easy. She's awesome, by the way, an absolute saint at times, but also one of them saints you do well not to mess with. Take it from me. At some point, I also got to tell you all about my little brother too, but I'll need a whole episode by itself for that guy. He's legit the real deal with a big heart. Handsome guy too, but he just got hitched, so sorry? For y'all, not for him. I was at the wedding. I saw the dude kiss his girl for the first time. I'm pretty sure what I saw was a very happy man. Anyway, y'all need to stop me when I'm rambling like this. For you, the valiant few who stayed to the end, thanks. This part is for you. Know that just like you, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, sometimes I bounce back, and others I bruise. There are many times that I show up anyway, but only to end up berating myself for not showing up as my best. When in actuality, I should be relieved, because when life threw all it could to get me to fold, I stood my ground and passed the test. How many tests have you passed, only to fall prey to that inner critic and not even show up to your own graduation? Is it 1? Is it 3? No, it's 2, isn't it? Yeah, too many. So let's do something about that, shall we? And you don't need to stay intimidated by all that needs to get done or the person you have to be to do it all. Just start. Just start. And when things go wrong, because they will, don't be afraid, my friend. Only be strong and courageous. What does courage look like, you may wonder? To answer that, I leave you with a final quote by Mary Ann Rodmaker. Rodemacher? I'm sorry. She says, courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. Hi friends, Jason here. I want to thank you again for your time investment of listening till the end. It seriously means a lot, and I would further appreciate knowing what you think about the show through either the like button or your own comments and DMs about what impacted you the most in this particular episode or in any other. The point is, I don't want you to be shy about taking the step to communicate all that. Lastly, I invite you to stay connected to this life-giving community by following or subscribing on whichever platform you prefer to watch or listen. You'll also find more nuggets of gold sprinkled here and there by looking up @JasonPF_TRU-U on all socials. Again, that's JASONPF_TRU-U. Let's learn to think, speak, and live as our true selves together.